It's good to see you again. I appreciate you coming back to my channel. I have something that I want to tell you about tonight. I want to tell you about meditation. It's just going to be an introduction. If you're already an experienced meditator, then perhaps you just want to relax and listen to the sound of my whispers. But if you'd like to learn about meditation, then I hope you will find this video enjoyable and informative. So what is meditation? There are lots of misconceptions about meditation. I think we get a lot from the movies and fiction. There's nothing mystical about it. It doesn't require you to have supernatural divinity powers. In fact, it's not really a coincidence that we often wrap this idea of meditation in images of the arcane, mystical images. Now, for many hundreds or even thousands of years, holy men could use this. They could say that through meditation or prayer that they were somehow able to reach some divine state where divine beings gave them special knowledge that they could bring back and only they could understand, and thereby justified their right to rule over all the others. And when the others said, "Hey, how come we should listen to you?" they said, "Hey, look at all this mystical stuff that you will never understand." But the reality is that meditation is for everybody. Everybody can do it. You can do it. It's not hard. You can meditate tonight, and you'll get as much benefit from it as anybody. So why should we meditate? Well, some common answers you might have heard on the internet from a friend is that meditation is good for relaxation. Meditation can help you to rest. Meditation can help you to heal. We need rest and relaxation, relief from the pressure and the anxiety of our lives. But where do those pressures come from? Where does that anxiety come from? Social pressures, expectations, social obligations, the need to achieve some level of status and respect in the eyes of others, to live and show a certain kind of life to other people, to let them know that we are successful, that we are happy, that we are good people. Pressures emerging from desires that can never be satisfied. All day long we are subjected to advertisements. We see others around us with beautiful things, and when we see somebody with a beautiful thing, a car, a piece of jewelry, a designer handbag, we want it. Want is generated inside. Another thing we desire that is going to define us. So what do? We have to work harder. And when we do not appear to be gaining those things that we are seeking, we think we are failing. Constant evaluation of ourselves from all of these external influences, from the material world, from the social world. These attachments are dug into our mind. They can control us, shape our very minds. What meditation offers you is freedom. The opportunity to free your mind from these attachments, at least for a moment, maybe just a window through which you can see these attachments and the ways that they influence our minds, and that helps to give you power over them. Your mind liberated from these external influences, you may find out who you really are. Outside of all of these external forces, what is the internal force? Your soul or your spirit or whatever you want to call it. Perhaps you find out that deep down you are nothing. And so you are free to be anything. And you'll never be in a better place to create yourself anew like art every day. The purpose of meditation is to train your mind to see these attachments and to release them, or at least to give them some slack for a moment. What happens then is up to you, and perhaps that's nothing. You might be surprised to discover how pleasant even that can be. Now, let's practice some meditation. First, I want to stretch with you a little bit. You can start by holding your arms out wide and lifting all the way up. Breathe in, and with an exhale, let your arms come down wide around you. Bring them up again, breathing in and exhale. One more time. Breathe in and exhale down. Feel free to stretch about a little bit as you wish. The purpose of this is in part to help relieve some muscle tension, but also importantly to remind you of something that you may have forgotten. Your body. When we're busy focusing on all of the things we need to do, even when we're recreating, we're usually recreating pretty energetically, focusing on that Netflix or that book that you're reading, and you might begin to think that you are just a mind, but you are in fact a body also. Stretching before meditation is just a good way to help you, bring you back to your body, to reconnect you with your body. I like to begin relax by sitting down. Now, you don't have to sit down if you don't want. You can lie down if you would like. Find any comfortable position. It can be a chair. It can be in the lotus position, which is sort of like, if you've seen in the movies, people meditating, sitting kind of cross-legged, but with your ankles up on top of your legs. Now, for me, that's extraordinarily painful, and I can't do it. In fact, a few people can, but don't worry, that position is not necessary. There is nothing supernatural about the lotus position. You don't need to be in that position for the arcane meditating energies to flow through you or anything like that. In fact, the reason why that position has sort of a traditional function in meditation is because thousands of years ago in India, the common people typically didn't have furniture, so when they sat down, they sat on the ground. That's still true today in many parts of India and elsewhere in the world. All that's really important is posture. Your back should be straight and upright, with your knees below your waist. Now, the lotus is really just a modification of the cross-legged seating position. I think it used to be called Indian style, but I'm not sure that we're supposed to call it that anymore. The difference between the lotus and the traditional Indian style is that your knees are pushed down below your waist, and that helps to prop your back up in a straight line and to relieve some tension on your lower back. A simple alternative, if you can't seat in a lotus position, is just to put maybe some cushions underneath your seat, underneath your butt, so your waist is elevated a little bit and can still be over your knees, and that's just fine. You could be seated in a chair, is also just fine, as long as you have a good posture and your knees are below your waist. Good. Now, when you've reached a comfortable sitting position with your back straight up and down, you can imagine maybe a balloon extending from the top of your head. I guess it's a little easier for me. Imagine a balloon straight off the top of your head floating into the sky, and it's very gently applying just the tiniest amount of force to hold your head up. Your chin may come down just a bit. Good. Now your posture is perfect for meditation. You can relax all of your muscles now. Your spine is like a tower. It supports all of the weight around it, like the structure of a tower. All of the weight is just stacked down and down and down, and you'd be surprised how stable you are. This is why posture is important. Your body you can even find a balance point where you no longer even have to make an effort for your body to step up, to stay upright, because it's perfectly in balance and supported by your spine. Once you have achieved this, you can begin to relax. You can start by relaxing all the muscles in your face, forget to relax your eyes. Now, some instructors, when they're teaching meditation, will give you something specific like look down 3 feet or 5 feet in front of you is where your gaze should be. But really, there's nothing magical about 5 feet. That's about what it might be if your eyes are just relaxing in their sockets. Now, you don't think about it because you're always focusing on something, but even your eyes have kind of a resting position. They will come to rest too if you just relax all of those little muscles. And you can even let your vision gently come out of focus, because focusing also takes these little tiny muscles in your eyes. You can relax those, and you may find that, your eyes are about 5 feet in front of you and relaxed and a little bit out of focus. And your jaw might come down just a little bit as you relax the muscles in your face. Your teeth and your jaw may be parted just a bit. Even your tongue has a little resting position, a place all of its own. Let every muscle in your body find its resting place from your head all the way down. To help, your hands should be supported. Maybe you fold them in your lap like this. Your arms should be supported and relaxed, not hanging low, but relaxing it on something. Ideally, not an armrest, because when your hands are on an armrest, it keeps your shoulders kind of bunched up just a little bit. So ideally, it should be relaxed in your lap. Good. Now you're in perfect position to begin a meditation. How do we begin to meditate? Well, you may have heard or seen people chanting while meditating, saying things in all sorts of languages, some of them ancient, some of them from another part of the world. Perhaps they're just saying the word Om, which I guess is said to be a sound that preceded all language. In fact, it doesn't really matter what all these things do. The function all of these things serve is simply as a focal point for your attention. It can be anything. Could be a word or a sound. It could be a physical sensation, like the feel of your feet connected to the ground, connected to the earth. It could be an object in your environment, a fragrance in the air, like an incense or an aromatic candle. It could be a thought, an idea, a picture, just about anything. And none of these are really better, per se, than any of the other. Today, we're just going to focus on our breathing. Now, in traditional Buddhism, the breath is believed to be sacred because it occupies a unique location on the cusp of the autonomic functions and conscious functions of the mind. You can think about your breath and control it. You can breathe deeply. unconscious represents a link between the conscious entity that you are and the unconscious universe of which you are a part. You don't need to breathe a certain way. Maybe you've tried this before, or you saw it in the movies, and people were only taking these very drawn out, slow breaths. We don't have to do that. Maybe you've seen people counting their breaths. You can if you want, but you don't need to. All you need to do is just watch. Just watch consciously your breath. You'll still breathe. Just breathe naturally like you always are. The idea is to consciously observe your breath without controlling it. In that way, we temporarily sit ourselves astride this bridge between the conscious and the unconscious worlds. Let's try this for 10 seconds. I just want you to listen to your breath. Begin. Good. Now you're meditating. Are you surprised that you're not being uplifted, taken to enlightenment? That's mostly for Hollywood. Let's try it a little longer. Just follow your breath. That's good. If you do this for a little longer, you might find that your mind drifts. Many people who attempt meditation find themselves frustrated because whatever it is they're supposed to be focusing on, they find themselves unable to maintain that focus. Their mind drifts. That's okay. It's very important that you know that that's okay. In fact, it's even a very important part of meditation. When your mind begins to wander in a particular direction, some thought, some care, some concern, just take note of it. That's okay. Take note of that and gently bring your mind back to your focal point, to your breath. You don't have to judge that thought. You don't have to kick yourself for it. Be like, oh, I screwed up again. You don't need to do that. That's not the point. Don't worry. You're still meditating. One of the most common misconceptions about meditation is that it is about reaching some celestial state. This is meditation right here. This is what it is. Just like lifting weights, the weights have a place that they are drawn to, the ground, and by lifting those weights away from the ground, resisting that force pulling them to the ground, we get stronger. Just like the weights, your mind has directions it wants to fall. Maybe there's some concern or some worry or some want or some feeling which is the gravitational center for your mind, and all of your thoughts are kind of leaning in that way, and when you close your eyes and you try to think about anything else but that, you can only hold it for so long. That's okay. Take note of it. The benefit of meditation is learning to recognize those forces acting on your mind and to gain the strength to resist them each time your mind drifts. It's an opportunity for you to recognize these forces, to recognize these gravitational centers tugging on your mind, and to gently bring your mind back to the place you want it, just like lifting a weight. Just like lifting weights, with practice and repetition, it will get easier and easier. You will find that even in your everyday lives, your mind will be able to resist even the heaviest concerns, giving you the ability to find peace and comfort anywhere, under any condition. In addition to wandering thoughts, you might find yourself becoming acutely aware of physical sensations. Again, beginners sometimes feel that these sensations are somehow their body betraying them. What you are trying to do is meditate, and here's your body thwarting your efforts. There's no need to do that. If you feel something, a tingle in your leg, maybe a hair hanging at the side of your face, I've not experienced that, but I hear that's common. Perhaps the feeling of your leg beneath you, or the pillow, or your feet on the ground, something. Take note of these sensations just like your thoughts. Don't judge them. They happen. They're a natural consequence of having a body. Your body, the only one you're ever going to have. The rest of the world may judge our bodies, but here the world's judgments have no power over us, because we can recognize that, and we take it away from them. You are what you are, a beautiful being, a brief flowering of consciousness out of the unconscious earth. And our time here is too short. When you feel your body tingle, itch, or the dull ache of an old or a new injury, give it love, not judgment. In this space, there's no room for judgment, just love. Well, we digressed a bit, and that's okay. Let's just gently this time, for 1 minute, just focus on your breath for 1 minute and begin. Feel it coming in. Maybe you can feel it on your nostrils. Feel it going up your sinuses and down into your lungs. Maybe it helps to follow the path of a single air molecule, a single life-giving molecule of oxygen. Follow it through your nose and down into your lungs. Follow a single molecule of carbon dioxide as you exhale. Each and every breath is unique. Each and every breath is special. A little piece of your life. A little piece of your life. That's so easy to be overlooked, but no less special than any of the other moments. Good. Very good. Congratulations, you meditated. And the best part is that it doesn't matter whether you are a 10th level high priestess of the Delvian Seek or a first timer. Everybody benefits from meditation, just like everybody benefits from exercise, whether it's your first day in the gym or you are an Olympic athlete. In the future, we can do some more meditations together. Perhaps some guided meditation where I can lead you down some path of the imagination. But now you know the basics, enough to get started with your own practice. And remember that meditation is really just a practice. You don't ever have to be an expert, if there is such a thing, as long as you do it, just like exercise. Now, next time, either after this video on your own or another time, see if you